Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Hazard12 here, and I'm really excited to share this video with you guys today. I've got a brand new custom tactic which packed me an icon. Yep, it was the custom tactic that did it. Indirectly, of course. I went 7-0 on FUT Champs in the playoffs, and as a result from those packs, I managed to pack an icon. I've not done that yet this year in terms of going 7-0 on playoffs, so obviously the tactic is a reason for that. So therefore, it is the tactics fault that I packed an icon. So make sure you do drop a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. I'll show you the icon at the end of the video because it's just nuts. It's crazy. But yeah, getting on into the video itself. Enough of me waffling on about how good the pack was. I'm going to show the gameplay, as you can see in the background, just dead quick. There's only a couple of minutes, just so you guys can visualize the actual gameplay and the tactic itself, and put together what kind of things you can expect, kind of goals you can expect to score, basically is what I'm trying to say. I would put in more goals and more games and goals I conceded and whatnot, but we'd be here all day, and I don't think anyone wants to sit here and watch a 25-minute long video about custom tactics, because I think you'd just get bored. So I just thought I'd throw in the goals that I scored, and you can get an idea of how the team actually plays. The defense on it is also sound, and going forward there are plenty of options. It's a very attacking tactic. It's really super fun to use, but it doesn't mean that at the back you're going to be left completely exposed. So yeah, there's nothing to worry about in that regard. I would say that it is like an adventurous kind of tactic, so if you do like being a bit more conservative, it may not be for you, but it is super fun and really, like I said, effective for me. I used it like I said, all the way through playoffs, and I've used it during rivals as well, and I don't think I've actually lost yet. I think I may have lost one game, but I can't remember if it was before or after I started using the tactic. But I've been using it for ages. I've been using, you know, at least a minimum 25 games now, and it's just been absolutely nutty, like so fun as well. I've not found a tactic on FIFA this year yet, at least, that's been actually fun to use apart from this one. I know I've had a couple of videos put up that are good tactics, but not tactics where I've had an actual good time relaxed playing them. This one is absolutely nuts in that regard. So I'm going to leave it now, go over into the talk about the instructions, the formation itself, and I'll catch you over there. So then guys, here we are then, heading into the actual tactics and instructions themselves. The team's had a bit of a shift around, as you can see, since we packed the icons, so yeah, that's absolutely fine on that front. The actual tactic then is in my little attacking segment part. I think that's quite fitting, it's an attacking tactic, and I'll just run through it the way I always do. So, defensive style, as always, balanced. Again, even post-patch, I've tried a few of the different ones, especially press after possession loss, and I just don't feel like it's that effective. I feel like you can get the same kind of results with balance without dragging too many players out of position, so we're going to go with that. Width, I just bobbed that up slightly, just to 55, because it's like a 4 at the back formation. I want to make sure we're covering the wings enough, but I also don't want gaps between my full-backs and my centre-backs. Depth, I pushed this up straight up to 65. Again, if you want, you could push that probably a bit higher. I personally haven't experimented any higher, but I imagine it would be pretty effective still, probably if not more effective. It's just I'm having a good time using it the way it is now. Don't really want to change it, but if you like higher depth, feel free to experiment a little bit higher with that. Build up play, again, balance, chance creation, balance. Not even going to waste my time. It's just what I always do. Again, it's just what the most effective version is. You could try forward runs, maybe even direct passing with this one. But again, because I've had such a good time using it the way it is and keeping it nice and simple, I think balance is the best way to go. Width, just pop that up again slightly, just up to 60. Again, I just want to make sure that my players are trying to exploit spaces. I often find that with wingers especially, well, the 4-2-3-1, they're lambs and rams, aren't they? So they try and cut them inwards a little bit, and it's not exactly where I want them to be all the time. So I've just pushed the width a little bit, just slightly encourages them to get a little bit further wide. And then players in the box, I put that up to 7. You could probably try 8. I personally haven't tried 8. Again, for the third time, I'm having a good time using it the way it is, so I don't really want to change it. But if you want to experiment, feel free to pop that up to 8. I do feel like it might affect how you get caught on the counter attack a little bit, but again, if it's something you want to experiment with, then feel free to give it a go. Corners, I bobbed that down to 3. I do think corners are relatively OP this year. I don't know if anyone's really clocked it yet, but personally I'm scoring quite a lot of goals from corners. So I am relatively inclined to try and put that up to 4 at some point. But for now I am going to leave it at 3. And then free kicks, as always, bob that down to 2. So the formation itself, as we spoke about, is 4-2-3-1. simple enough. And then the instructions are going to be even more simple. It's a really basic tactic, like I said, but it works an absolute charm. So up top, just getting behind on the striker, nothing else. I would try with the width, maybe trying to drift wide, but because we've got the width already increased slightly and then 2 players on the wings, I don't really think it's something that we need to do. But again, if you want to experiment with it, feel free to give that a go. The cam, just get into the box for cross, that's all we want him to do. You could again pop him on stay forward, but again, it's something that I haven't really needed to try because I've already having a good time with it. I haven't needed to change anything. But if you're looking to experiment yourself and see if you can get a little bit more out of this tactic, then feel free to try something different. The 2 wingers are the exact same. They're also get in the box for cross. We want them overloading the box. We want, when Chiesa's got the ball out wide, we want these 3 here in the box, and vice versa for when Lozano's got the ball. So we can cut inside and play it back to someone and have an easy tapping. And then the 2 CDMs, the one on the right, I would say it is important that it is the one on the right. I don't know why, it just seems to be that the person on the left tends to drift in centrally a bit more, if that makes sense. It's just my experience. It might just be me overthinking things a little bit, but I tend to have always the person on the right is the one who's slightly more attacking. So we just have him as cut passing lanes, which is actually quite effective this year. I don't think it was in previous editions of FIFA, but it is quite effective this year. And then we leave him on everything else, obviously apart from cover centre actually. So cut passing lanes, cover centre, and then everything else is on the default instructions. And then his mate on the left hand side is the more defensive one. That is cut passing lanes, stay back while attacking, and cover centre. Again, wouldn't really bother changing anything else with that. I've never really tried because a bit more aggressive interception. Well, I have. I've tried aggressive before, and trust me, it just leaves them trying to win a ball that they're never going to win. And then obviously they're out of position. So yeah, it's important that obviously you've got someone like this because he's going to be the person stopping the counter attacks if you lose the ball, and obviously recycling the ball as well. And then of course the fullbacks. Well, I leave them on the default settings. You can change it. You can put them stay back if you want. I wouldn't recommend it purely because before you know it, you're sucking the life out of your attack. I'm not saying you need them bombing on, overlapping every single time you get the ball, but I do think it's quite important just to have them as an option for an extra pass, purely because, well, for 2 reasons. It distracts the opponent if you've got another person there, and also it means that you've got an extra option if you are running out of passes. But yeah, that's the formation, guys. Like I said, very, very simple. The tactic's very simple. Nothing special or anything of it. It just works really, really well, and I really, really enjoyed using it. So if you guys give it a go, please let me know how you get on in the comments. And fingers crossed for you all. I hope it works as good for you guys as it did for me. So then, guys, just dead quickly then, before I do the outro, I did say I'd show who the icon was. So here it is. Here he is in all of his glory. My first tradable icon is John Bars. I've been playing FIFA since FIFA 11, and this is my first tradable icon. Well, Ultimate Team since FIFA 11, and I was absolutely gassed. I was running around everywhere, screaming my head off. So yeah, buzzing with that. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Please do drop a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that as well. And I will catch you all next time.